Steven, this is Jesse. I hear from Sam that you won't debate him, that you have cold feet, and that you are a beta male. Beta, if it's true, beta male. And by the way, Sam said he is an alpha male. Alpha male, not a beta male. And that you are afraid to debate him, Steven. And that your father should stop allowing you to be beta. Debate Sam, Steven. Don't be afraid. Don't be a beta male. Let me know how it goes.
People are saying the Crowder version has more context, so good luck.
A little bit of a surprise. The debate with Ethan Klein. Yeah, because this mic hasn't been adjusted, guys. Check 1, 2, 3. I bet this guy's going to do anything he can to avoid actually debating.
Oh, yeah. No.
I think he wants to do anything that he possibly can to avoid. I don't think this guy wants to do this. I wouldn't be surprised if he's probably going to bring someone else on. Was his producer like a fan of that Seder character? Yeah, that'd be my bet, but hey, hopefully he mans up. Okay, you can do your sound check.
Alrighty, here we go.
Yeah, I'm going to sit right here while you guys...
Hello.
Hey, how's it going? You hear us well, or?
Oh, yeah, I can hear you just fine.
Perfect.
You and you?
Yeah, you guys sound good.
Okay, great. Who am I speaking with?
This is producer Tim.
Tim?
Yes.
Hi, Tim. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Are you one of the guys that dresses up in the Crowder, or are you not on screen?
I'm running the audio board.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're not the Peter Pan guy or anything like that.
Peter Pan? No. No. Hold on one second. We'll get Steven here momentarily.
Okay. Thank you. Oh.
Dave.
Wait, so did Crowder think that Ethan from H3H was going to debate him on what? Does Ethan even do shit like that? Did I miss that arc? I know that he does like kind of political stuff sometimes, but does he do like debates? No? Okay.
Hi, Steven.
Hey, Ethan, how you doing, brother?
Hey, I just want to say on a serious note that I'm glad your wife is okay. I heard you had a little bit of a issue with your wife.
Well, she's pregnant with twins, so
yeah.
It's like well, by the way, congratulations too. I know you guys are
Thank you.
in the same process. It's a whole thing.
Yeah.
They switch
Can
and
you
they
turn
breach.
down a little bit?
Oh, sorry, am I too loud for you?
I just told Dan, our producer, to turn the volume down a little bit. You're good.
I'm gonna take out my gum.
Yeah.
They switch and they breach, and so
Apparently Sam was going to debate Steven a while ago, and Steven or no, they were never going to debate, but Seder's always challenged Crowder to a debate, and Crowder probably avoids him. They were going to debate a long time ago at Politicon, and then Steven Crowder backed out. And so supposedly, Steven Crowder was going to debate Ethan Klein on their show, and because Sam Seder wasn't streaming that day, I guess, Steven Crowder said that his wife was sick and he didn't want to come on because he was worried that Seder would show up on this show. And so apparently right now, what they were checking was to make sure that Sam Seder was live so that Sam Seder couldn't show up because he's doing his show. So Sam Seder and co pre-recorded an episode and then they aired it to pretend it was live. So Steven Crowder just went to check and make sure that the Majority Report was live with Sam Seder so that he couldn't show up on the show. So now that he sees he's live, now he's coming back to this and he's like, okay, cool. I see that Sam Seder's live. There's no way he can ambush me on this podcast. So now we're good to go.
We started the show early. We ended at 12:30 p.m., which was 30 minutes before the debate that
11
Crowder,
to 12:30.
Yeah,
if you guys remember
that Crowder had planned with Ethan Klein on H3, and so we connect with H3 through Zoom, and immediately after we're done with the show, and then 4 or 5 minutes later, they go, "Oh, we just got an email from Crowder's dad that Steven had an emergency with his wife who's pregnant." And this is actually sort of disturbing.
We were concerned.
We were concerned. And I'm being serious about that, actually. And he can't do it. However, we will reschedule for next Monday at noon. But it was weird that hey, we have an emergency. I mean, this is the grandfather of those kids. If I was that guy, I would be like, look, we have an emergency, can't get back to you. I wouldn't give the details because why would I? And I'm like, it's an emergency and I'll get back to you later in the week to reschedule. But no, they reschedule it for 12 p.m. on Monday Eastern, which is exactly when we go live.
That's so weird.
So, are you ready to go?
So I just want to make one clarification. So in terms of, so we're both going to record it and then we can use it wherever we want, on your show, on my show, whatever, right?
Yeah.
That's
you
the idea? Okay.
Yeah, and we can send you the file if we want because we have the master file, everything. So,
I think we're good, right, Dan? We're recording it on our end.
Okay. Yeah, we've never used Zoom either. We did you ever get sold on that Skype TX box? Remember when that came out?
Oh no, I've always had such a pain with Skype that Zoom has always been really good. So,
well, the Skype TX box is like from New Tech, I think, and they sold us on that. They said this is what Jimmy Kimmel uses and all these people. And
Skype.
Well,
Really?
Skype TX, it's like a box that's like, it's almost like, remember the Comrades boxes? No, it sucks. So what we've had to do is we just have Mac Minis set up, and Skype has played well with those, but not the exclusively designed Skype TX box that we paid whatever premium for.
Yeah,
so.
Skype, I don't trust Skype. Skype has always sucked.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll just.
Okay, so we're gonna record it, and then the topics are just like.
Is this one of the back straps for a firearm, or one of the there's a name for these. You can either have a gun at your side or on your back. Is that what he's wearing without a gun? What? Why? Okay. God, that's cringe.
We said about authority with the vaccine, and there was something else you mentioned. I don't know how on.
Well, I just thought.
Oh, does he have a gun? Oh, as long as he's actually carrying, I guess it's okay. But Jesus.
Yeah, however you want to do it. I thought that since that was kind of the subject that got us into a tiff, that we could talk about sort of the CDC, sort of medical authorities, and you can tell me where you disagree with me, and then also kind of big tech because that ties in, with the CDC and World Health Organization. And I'll just I'll introduce it to my, I have a little bit of a different audience, so let them know kind of who you are, what's going on, and if you want to do the same, that's fine. But
of course, we'll let them know.
All right.
Okay.
I will go. And
all right,
I'll give you a countdown, and then I'll 3, 2. All right. Okay. I'm really glad to have my next guest on the show, and I've always said this. I always respect people who enter into the arena. And
God, he sounds so nervous. I don't know if something else is going on or if he's really that scared of Seder. Holy shit.
We've had a lot of debates on this show, which is different from like a Change My Mind where we sit down and have conversations. But my old Brazilian jiu-jitsu coach always said, if you come a switch, we go switch. You go spicy, we're going to do a little spicy. So we always try and keep it as respectful as possible. And I really do appreciate the guy making the time because a lot of people has a huge YouTube channel, several YouTube channels, one of the OGs. A lot of people watch him. You know him, some of you like him, some of you don't. Same can be said for me. Ethan Klein from H3H3. Ethan, thanks, man, for making the time.
You're very welcome. And I just want to say, I know you called me, you said that I would be a layup.
I think I used something like that. Yeah.
And I think you're right because I don't think I'm a very good debater. I think you know that. So I didn't want to make it too easy for you.
Oh, okay.
So I've prepared.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So what we were going to talk about is the initial quote that happened. I think he's looking off there. The initial quote that kind of was turned into a little bit of a meme, which wasn't intentional, and was you saying you don't even have to think about it regarding the CDC. And I disagree with that. I think people should think about it. I believe, and we talked about this through Playful Ribbing, in an aggregation of medical authorities and scientific voices to make an informed and rational decision. So where do you think that I'm wrong on that?
Steven, do you know that the Spartans are like practice man love with children?
Oh, geez. Okay, so this is what's going to happen. What did I tell you? He was going to do anything he could to avoid. Oh, there he is. Oh no, Sam Seder. What a f***ing nightmare.
Thank you, Steven.
I had no idea this was going to happen. I thought Ethan was a stand-up guy. This is where we are. Yeah,
well-
Dave, remember I told you? I said I guarantee you he's going to do anything he can to avoid the debate.
Oh, I just think he believes that he should debate you.
No, he doesn't. He just takes advantage of women with, mental health issues. Ethan
Steven,
Klein
you
doesn't
know what?
stand up and do his own fighting.
I gotta say,
Bring
It's
on
just
both.
hilarious.
told
Let's
my
bring on
producers
FM.
that you would do anything to avoid talking to me. I think the point.
Does that
is
include Joe Rogan?
Yeah, Joe Rogan and Dave Rubin and
Ben
Jordan
Shapiro.
Peterson and Noam Chomsky and Sam Harris. Everyone's been avoiding.
And not just attempting
Sam
to get
Seder.
your audience by jumping in.
Well, I debated with Charlie Kirk. Steven, I mean, it's about issues.
It's about
Let's
issues,
talk about
yeah.
those issues.
That's what you're
I think
doing
you have
here.
Some valid points.
You're so clever. I
That I
had
think
no
we should
idea
discuss.
that you were taking your show off early last time, coming in today with your pig pen peanuts
I
eyes.
wish every.
You take those off with the velveteen
really are,
buttons.
They're just
Well, you must have
black
been
eyes,
very worried
aren't they?
about
Like
this, Steven. I don't know
no
why.
one's worried
No,
about
come on,
it. It's why I
Sam.
didn't want to
Concerned.
do it.
Well, let's have
Sam,
the
come
debate.
on.
If
I'll
no
tell you
one's
what. I have a
worried, let's do
general.
this.
I have a general rule.
This is a great
I don't start a
opportunity
debate based
to-
with people on a lie. And how about you get
sabotaging.
How about you get to a
Steven,
30th
show
of the
yourself,
audience
you
share?
coward. Steven, show
A
yourself.
30th of the
Don't show your
audience.
co-host.
Ethan, you should show yourself.
Ethan, how can you respect yourself as a
you
man,
believe
brother?
in something so
Steven,
strongly that
Steven,
you're
you
not
are such
willing
a
to
coward.
debate.
Stop showing your little leprechaun
you-
co-host.
Right.
Hey,
Ethan, come on, Ethan. Why do you have to bring on a guy who has a 30th of the viewership of yourself?
Saddest thing I've ever heard. So you have a guy
Just
with
show
less
Steven.
viewers to come on to debate him because you can't. Why don't you
obviously,
get
if I'm a-
Apparently, he had to think about it, bro.
If I'm a
Yeah, I had to
layup and
think
not a
about it.
debater.
Well, look, you're the one who called. You're the one who got personal and
You're
started
the one
it.
that got angry about it.
Look,
Started the debate.
hold on a second. All right, hold on. Let me hear what Pigpen has to say here really quick.
Fair enough.
But
Show
Ethan,
Steven.
look, I don't. Hold on a second, Ethan. This is because initially I came on here to talk with Ethan. Ethan, come on, man. Look, the same reason that I haven't ever had a conversation with Sam Seder is the same reason that Joe Rogan, Sam Harris, Brett Weinstein, Dave Rubin, Ben Shapiro don't owe him anything. It's based on a lie, Ethan. Just like you
What's the
claiming
lie?
Ethan, you
What's the
claiming
lie?
my
What's
booker
the
reached
lie,
out to you,
Steven?
Ethan, when you know that's
Steven,
not
what's
true.
the lie?
There's no one ducking
the
you,
lie?
Sam.
Why
I've
are you
never.
so afraid?
Sam.
I think you're a
I can
smart
call out
guy.
Mike
I don't
Tyson. It
understand
doesn't mean that I'm
why
ducking
you-
him.
It's I'm pretty sure like Sam Seder is pretty well known. Like to act like Sam Seder is just like a small nobody. I'm sorry, Jesus, it's even bigger than I thought. They have more than 1 million subs on their YouTube. And for Crowder like to continuously over and over again say like, oh, it's so hard to get leftists here. Leftists don't really go on our shows, blah, 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 blah. Like, I guarantee you, I don't even know this, but I can guarantee without even knowing this, I guarantee you that Crowder has talked to plenty of leftists that are leftists or progressives that are smaller than Jesus and Sam Seder. I keep reading Steven Crowder's name. There's no way that like he has like that he's got like a minimum fucking threshold of like people that he'll talk to.
You are so worried about
Why do you
this.
feel that?
I
Why do you
honestly
feel that
don't.
anyone, Sam? Why do you feel that anyone owes you airtime when you have a 40th of the audience and you've been doing the show
I don't
for
think
10 times as long?
Me airtime. I think that Ethan has just given it to me.
Right.
I didn't ask him for it.
Right. No,
And
you've been
so
begging for it for
the
a
real
long time with
question is
everyone
begging
bigger
for
than
it.
yourself.
Why are
Yeah, he
you so
found a
He
way
can't
to
build an
engage
audience,
with me?
and so what happens is he
Why are
uploads
you so
15
worried
times
about-
more,
Do you
has
think
less than
your
a
audience
50th of the
says-
audience.
Well, that's why he wants
Do
to
you think
debate
that
you,
your
is so he can
audience-
build his audience.
Sam, come on.
You
Where's,
think your audience
Yeah.
cares that I only have 1 million subscribers and you have what, 6 or 7
I
million
think. Let me answer.
subscribers?
Can I answer your
I don't
question?
think
Can I
they
answer your
do.
question? Can I answer your question? Do you want me to answer your
Sure.
question? My audience would say Sam who? Just like Joe Rogan's audience and Ben Shapiro's
now
and
they
Dave.
all-
Joe Rogan talks to a lot of small people too. The only problem that I have is that this works except for the fact that Ben Shapiro and Steven Crowder's like most well-known moments are just dunking on random college kids, right? Like that's literally your career. Like, do you think my audience would give a fuck if I debated a random person? Dude, the change my mind thing, your whole career is built on that. Not your whole career, but like that was like your largest draw. It wouldn't surprise me if those are some of like the if those are some of the biggest viewership videos on your channel are literally just like debate a college kid, like debate random college kids, like change my mind, SJW Feminist Festival, like change my mind. Like these videos, these are your most popular videos and they're debating random college kids. So if you can dunk on Sam Seder, yeah, it seems like it was a pretty like obvious thing for you to do.
proven.
know who I
Now
am.
they all know who you
just
are because you
introduced me.
had to
Because
shoehorn
your
yourself
audience
into another
Brought
coward
yourself
show.
into another
College
show.
students every day that you do
Why
that,
are we-
change
Hold on a
my
second.
mind.
Hold on a second.
They don't know who
This
those
is another
college
lie. This
students
is
are.
another lie.
It
The
is.
let me
What's the
clarify,
difference?
Sam. Let me clarify, Sam. The change my mind. Everyone knows on the show, right?
Yes.
We've had professors
How did
on
you
the.
know I
this is
ended my
he's not
show
gonna talk.
early last week, Stephen? If you're
Because you're an idiot, and half of your staff doesn't like you.
watch my
Because I'm a
show?
diehard fan.
Yes, it's because he's a
watch it all the
diehard
time.
fan.
Well,
There,
if
I had
you're a
heard of you,
diehard fan,
but I just met
why
you.
not
Congratulations,
have
Sam
me
Seder's fan.
And
I'm just a
Stephen have a
huge fan.
conversation.
I like-
Well,
I
right
will
now,
talk
every time I
about
try
the
and talk,
issues
you're
that you wanna
interrupting,
talk
Sam.
about,
Yeah, and
Stephen.
Right now, I'm trying to talk with you. You're interrupting,
You
Sam.
bombarded the show to
You
debate.
go ahead.
bombarded my show under a false pretense. You claim that everyone, just like you
Bombarded.
claim that I ducked a debate with you under a false pretense. Have I ever?
That is what the Politicon people told
Oh,
me.
is that
I
what they
played
told you?
the audio
So you're just
of it.
lazy with your research?
And if big tech
No,
is
what other research are you going to do? It's not like Crowder's going to admit to ducking a debate at Politicon, right? There is no other research. The reason why Crowder's talking so much is because the goal is Sam Seder showed up. Crowder can't have a debate with Sam Seder. He knows that. So now he just has to make it a meta conversation. But like, oh, like, why are you trying to talk to me? Like, I don't want to talk to you. You're too small, blah, 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 blah.
You
What
continue
more
with the
research do
lie.
I need?
You need to
They
research
said
and
you
say,
were
did
booked.
Stephen ever accept?
They said
Let me
you were
explain
booked.
to you. Let me explain to you.
They
Let me
said
explain to
you
you.
were
Hey,
booked,
whoa,
and then
whoa,
you
Sam.
dropped out and you
Sam,
literally had
sweetheart.
feet.
Sam, fake stand-up comic who we can't find any footage about online. Let me finish.
I'm not a stand-up comic.
Oh, you're not? Okay, that makes sense because everything that I've seen is incredibly unfunny and unentertaining, which may
Well,
explain the
I'm not
audience
a
numbers.
stand-up comic.
Irony alert.
Why he's reaching so hard. Oh my God.
Comedian.
How much have you watched of my
The
stuff,
irony of-
Stephen, that
Sam,
you think that
can I
your
answer your
audience
question?
wouldn't appreciate
Sam,
our discussing things?
Samuel, can I answer your question?
Yes.
So you have gone on, you've done the same thing with other comics. Everyone has a bigger audience than you. Because you said, I want to speak with Steven Crowder. You believe that at some point there was some acceptance? When have I ever done a Politicon? Ever? When have I as a matter of fact, in the last decade, I haven't done a single political conference.
How
I
can
hosted
you say-
CPAC for 4 years and stopped because they suck.
How can
They
you
don't
say-
pay and they're full of losers.
What
And you've been
about Gavin
clamoring
McGinnis'
for it,
show?
and it's a
Gavin
lie.
told me that you dropped out
How
of
can
doing
you
his show
say that
because
This is just
I was
hearsay
going
and
to do it.
gossip.
But how can he say
I've never met more of a
your
woman.
career when he wants to keep
Well, I don't
debating?
need to-
I don't know.
I don't need
It's
to talk
bizarre.
about any of it.
All right, okay.
Let's talk about the
So,
issue,
Ethan,
the
do you want to have a
CDC.
conversation, Ethan?
About
Let's
the
talk about
vaccine
big
because
tech.
Ethan, do you want to have a conversation? You're going to hide.
You felt so
Absolutely,
strongly
I do.
about
Or
it.
big
So why
tech.
are you hiding behind Sam Seder?
Oh no!
Have
no,
a conversation.
No, me and Sam are aligned. I'm
with
not
him.
hiding.
Well, you're just a liar,
Oh, so you're a
Ethan.
liar.
Because remember
You
we said,
brought
hold
in
on a second,
somebody
hold on a
else to
second.
debate.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
It
yeah.
sort of feels
It's
like you guys
ridiculous.
are the ones who are hiding.
Really? Hiding? No.
Being
This is actually
completely open
Who
about it.
snuck in on you?
who's the guy who never appears on
completely
stage,
open
never
about
does
it.
a live show,
But is a
never
comic.
even never even allows a shadow of comedy to be perceived on his program. It's just hiding.
Right.
Everything we do is out in the open. H3, you know
Steven, you're wearing
that we
a holster.
agreed.
So what?
Hold on a second, yeah? So? I want to normalize responsible gun ownership. Is that your debate? No wonder you had to bring in a hack for you.
You want to call it a
Crying out loud. That was his debate strategy.
Should we write it for you?
You have a holster, bro. You have a holster as he takes advantage of mentally ill women for a show that just is dwindling. All right, okay. All right, Sam, you got it. You got it. I hope you have a wonderful highlight reel. Hope you enjoy Politicon.
Hold on. Let me just make
Hope you enjoy Politicon, Ethan. We'll release the private
Yeah, you
messages.
take it easy.
All right,
everybody.
thanks, guys. I appreciate it. It's adorable. Hey, Sam, one thing before I go. Can you take off your glasses? One thing before I go.
So they don't even actually.
We just want to see. If
I just want to see if you take them off. If you have the Velveteen Rabbit buttons. That's the only thing I'm
wanna
curious
see.
about. It's the only interesting part about you.
or if there's a soul.
Just take off the glasses.
Let's debate.
Don't hide behind the glasses, Sam.
Don't say let's debate, Ethan. You've lost that upper.
Those Jewish beady eyes. That was a really, really, really weird comment. I don't know if that was intentional or not, but that's a really fucking strange comment.
Ethan's lost the debate. All right, this is sad. This is why we don't
Ethan,
debate.
shut up.
All right, good. You guys are good. Thank you. Appreciate it. Won't even take off the glasses.
I was right.
All right, yeah, you can give
Bye-bye.
it the X. This is. I knew it. The guy just thought.
Was that all right?
The guy thought that. No, we're still going. The guy thought that we had no. I mean, we have the master. Quarterback, can you put on your microphone?
Is he still on?
We have the master. No, I cut him off. We have the master file. We knew.
Yeah.
And this is exactly what happens. Like someone like a Sam Seder who just
He didn't even wait. He
never lets you
immediately.
speak.
I like
It's
how he
just-
goes, your little leprechaun co-host.
I like it. Never lets you speak. As soon as he showed up, he had to fill as much airtime as possible so that Seder couldn't open his mouth.
Because he's still mad that I said he looked like a transgender Wayne and Garth. You know, that's just been eating at him for the last month.
Well, you know, and this is the thing too, is
Okay, well, I'm sure the other streamers probably reviewed this and found a way to talk about this for 4 hours. I don't know what to say. Obviously, Crowder is scared of Seder. It's funny that they found a way to sneak Seder on, but I don't know what else to say about it. I mean, they didn't even talk about anything actually at all. If you think that Crowder came away looking better, it's because you're already a massive Steven Crowder fan. There's no possible way. He's obviously like petrified to have a conversation. Like, he already had the time set aside for it. He was going to go on another person's show. They're not doing anything else, and he had to duck out of that as soon as possible. Why? It's because he's petrified, right? Like, does Crowder literally only debate college kids with his giant binder in front of him? The entire rightosphere of Twitter is hard coping right now. Does the rightosphere even like Crowder in general online? I thought Crowder wasn't extreme enough for those, like, the crazy people online. Like, my understanding is that, like, my guess would be that gripers and shit hate Steven Crowder. I don't know, like, if Fuentes has said anything about it or anything. Of course, they'd always take an opportunity to shit on left-leaning people, but this is massive. Real Daily Wire. Opinion. Steven Crowder showed why we should engage with Debate Me Bros. I mean, like, your whole thing is literally, like, change my mind. One of the things that I think is really funny, I think that everybody loves debate, but only when their people are winning. It's funny because Hassan and other people were doing the same shit where they're like, now guys, I don't normally like Debate Me Bros, but this was awesome. This was awesome. It's like, okay, you don't have an opinion about Debate Bro people then. You just want to see your side win all the time and the other side lose all the time. That's actually what you care about. Don't act like you have some like position on whether you like or don't like debates or whatever. Like, clearly you don't give a fuck. It's as long as you see like your side like dominating, that's the only thing you care about.
Do you want to respond to anything he said now that he's not talking over you?
Well, I mean, look, he's obviously lying about the idea that he wouldn't want to do a debate with me because his audience wouldn't know. Here's a guy who literally tracked my show last week because he was afraid that this would happen. Here's a guy who claims to have watched, I don't know what it is he said he watched, but he's not worried about audience not knowing who he's debating because he sits down with random college kids and sandbags them on their campus. I have the recording from Politicon when they called and he backed out. I have emails from Gavin McInnes, whose show I would have never gone on, except he offered up a debate with Crowder and Crowder left. And so, you know,
okay, if I'm being, this is just because of my behind the scenes experience, if I'm being as generous to Crowder as possible, there is a chance. When I say there's a chance, I mean there's like a 25% chance or higher that in actuality, Crowder didn't back out of those debates, but that the organizers were actually pulling some shit. Because, not that something came up. No, never that. There are organizers that will do some shit where they're like, yo, do you want to come to X event? Like, we can get you on stage with Ben Shapiro. People will say shit like that. And you were like, yeah, of course, of course. And they might have emailed Ben Shapiro and they're like, yo, do you want to come on stage? We might have Trump showing up to this. And Ben Shapiro might respond, like, yeah, keep me updated or whatever. But then when the emails go back and forth, the larger person realizes that the other organization is like a little bit full of shit. And they're like, okay, whatever. And then when they go back to Sam Seder, they're not going to tell him, okay, I'm going to be honest with you. We actually never confirmed the other person. We were just kind of hoping they'd say yes, so we don't have shit for you. Sorry, bye. They'll never say that. Instead, they'll be like, well, the other person stopped responding or backed out. It is, now, Sam has a lot of experience in this industry, I imagine, with like live debate stuff too, so I'm sure he knows about that as well, but it's, obviously this is funnier. But it is entirely possible that Crowder didn't agree to anything, and he just lost interest because they weren't getting big enough names for him to care. Yeah. He would have said that if that was the case. No. Sam Seder wouldn't have known about this. The Politicon people that wouldn't have said it, right? Crowder's dad does all the bookkeeping. That doesn't change what I'm saying at all. That doesn't explain Crowder following the Times Seder show is live. That has nothing to do with what I'm saying. It wouldn't surprise me if Crowder also would duck Seder debates if he had the opportunity to, of course. But obviously he's dodging it. But I'm just saying for like the Politicon or the other large stuff or whatever. Yeah. Here's Pacman saying the same thing you said about Politicon.
This is an important thing to understand. Sam is absolutely telling the truth that Politicon told Sam the Crowder debate was happening. Okay? That's absolutely true that Politicon told Sam that.
The game's Netflix.
The thing is,
I don't have that shit.
Politicon lies a lot. Okay? And I don't know that I've said this before. I don't know if Politicon is going to be...
Oh, this is why people in my chat were saying Politicon lies a lot, because you all heard Pac-Man say this morning. Okay.
...furious with me and they'll never have me back because I'm explaining this, whatever. But Politicon has also lied to me about things that were booked. Because they say, oh, yeah, that's happening in order to keep things moving forward, and that they'll later get everybody to say yes. So let me explain to you, okay? You guys know I'm behind with Sam on all this stuff, but when I was doing Politicon in, guys, people say Sam has receipts.
No.
Sam's not lying.
Yeah.
It could be that Politicon was lying, and I'm going to remind you guys of this. I was supposed to be doing a debate at Politicon. It was going to be me and Kyle the King Kolinsky, with on the other side Charlie Kirk and Candace Owens. Now, as all of this was I think 2018, I think it was 2018. All along Politicon was saying to me and to Kyle, guys, this is happening. You and Kyle versus Candace and Charlie Kirk. I already had reason to believe that Candace Owens was never going to agree to a debate with me. I didn't believe it when Politicon was saying it. And I said it to Kyle Kolinsky. I said, dude, I don't think this is for real. And he said, I really don't know. Let's just wait. Let's just keep going. And later, when Politicon said, hey, yeah, can you sign your contract and agree to all this different stuff? I said, you know, it's not written here what we're doing. You told me we were debating Charlie Kirk and Candace Owens. That should be in writing. Then they say, oh, yeah, Candace actually isn't going to be able to make it. Well, hold on a second. You told me I was definitely debating Candace, and then now you don't mention it's not happening and you're trying to get me to sign on the dotted line. I think the truth is Candace was never doing it. And later, Candace Owens was actually asked, why did you bail on the debate with David Pakman? And she said, I was never going to Politicon. I believe her. I don't think she ever agreed to it. And it's something that it's a very common thing when you're trying to get a bunch of personalities together. You just tell everybody that everybody's already in. Yeah. And you then try to use that. And then they go to Candace and they go, David Pakman, Kyle Kolinsky, Charlie Kirk, they're already in.
Yeah, exactly. Get 10 people, tell all 10 people that all the other 9 people are go. Will you please do it? And then all of them will, yeah.
Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So on this particular issue, Sam is absolutely telling the truth. Politicon told him the debate is happening with Crowder. I believe it's 50-50. Politicon probably was lying, and they were just assuming they would get Crowder to say yes. Mm-hmm. They had no idea about the backstory between Crowder and Sam. So I think it's hugely likely that that's the case. All right. So now when Crowder says that's not true, I think it's quite plausible that that's not true. Crowder has still been ducking Sam. That was part of the ducking. When Politicon went to Crowder and said, do you want to do this? Crowder said no. So he is ducking him. I just don't know that it's true that it was ever agreed upon. That could have been a Politicon lie. They do this all the time.
Continue with the lie. You need to research and say, did Steve...
Right, as Fnug Krongler is saying, either way, Crowder has not addressed Sam for years. No doubt. I just think it's quite plausible Politicon lied.
David Pakman basically copied my argument verbatim. That's pretty disgusting of Pakman. I just don't know what to say to him. Wow, gross. And he even did it before I went live, which is pretty disgusting. So there is proof on a phone call shown on the H3 channel. Okay, well, link me the phone call, I guess. At the beginning. Okay.
Crowder challenged me to a debate. He called me a layup. He said I was
7:30.
Well, Steven, report. Has 1 million subs. He's a big channel. Crowder famously backed out of a scheduled debate with Sam at Politicon, earning him the name Cold Feet Crowder at the behest of his dad. Sam secretly recorded the phone call with the organizer of the event, who exposed Crowder. Here's the call.
Yeah, that's a real shame.
I think you're bigger. Yeah, I don't know what his team is doing around him, and that's just for me to speculate at this point. I don't know.
He has a team. He has a whole team, and he won't do it. He can bring the team.
I believe it's his father, but I can't confirm or deny that.
By the way, everyone seems to be confirming.
Okay. I don't know what you guys think you're linking me, but this confirms what I'm saying. 99. Now I actually feel even stronger about what I said earlier. Crowder probably didn't agree to anything. They just thought maybe they could get him if they dangled something in front of him, and he ended up not. Thank you for whoever linked me this, thinking that this would counter that. You just completely reaffirmed what I thought. But okay. Crowder already confirmed what you're thinking, Destiny. He mentioned it afterwards. Yeah, but I can't trust anything Crowder says because Crowder has a vested interest to also say he never booked anything, right? So I have to go by what I know behind the scenes, like my experiences, and then like what else is reasonable, right? Obviously, Crowder is going to say he never agreed to anything because he's got a vested interest in lying about it. We'll watch like the last like 11 minutes of this, I guess.
Fact of the matter is that what Crowder is not doing, he's not being skeptical in any type of thoughtful way. He is weaponizing doubts that happen to align with his political ideology. We saw it with the president that he was so supportive of. I mean, it's not hard to find many clips of Trump saying this is just going to go away. It's not really serious. There's only a couple of cases. We shouldn't even test.
Right.
And Crowder, that's why Crowder was doing it. I mean, if he was doing a genuinely skeptical, sort of like categorization and cataloging of the science and laying it out there in a way that showed some measure of integrity, but let's be honest. I mean, people just watch this. Crowder had the opportunity to debate this with somebody who is serious about it and wanted to debate with him. I did nothing but approach this with a respectful manner, and he was afraid to do that because he knows he's full of it.
So
and he's
much
just delivering talking points that his NRA buddies give him to go.
Yeah, it's all part of the big grift that all these conservative media. It's like you said. It's like
Deepak had the same take. Sure, it's not surprising.
They suck every dollar out of every controversy, and that's all that matters to him because he's got these big, beautiful leather holsters, and those things don't fill themselves, And it is worth mentioning once again that he noticed that you ended your show early last week, and
That's right.
and we specifically were like, I know he's watching because he's so afraid of Sam that we need to pre-record something, air it so that he thinks you're live.
Right now, as we are talking, there is a live show that's on, and he came on. We started the show 2 minutes early, and he did not walk onto the set until our show was live.
So true.
And you called. I got to say, you called it last week,
Thank
and
you.
I was like, I just don't believe that he's that nervous.
Yeah, he
about.
was. I can't believe he admitted it. What a dumbass to admit it.
And also, like, the alternative is, I think that Sam could show up, and I can't wait to show my audience how this moron who's been dogging me supposedly and sending people to, debate me and this and that, I'm going to put this to rest once and for all. If Steven Crowder was as much of a man as he seems to be with his, all his weightlifting and his gun and his holster, he's got a weapon, for God's sakes.
Yeah.
I'm coming unarmed. Hands up. If you want to shoot, go ahead.
How much
shoot.
alpha brain do you think he takes in the morning?
He's probably juicing, and the idea that he had at least a week in advance knowledge that he couldn't come prepared to debate somebody who actually reads this stuff and spends their time doing this is almost like the saddest thing that one could say about Steven Crowder.
Yeah.
Almost.
Yeah,
I'm sure there's some other things.
Oh, yeah. Wow. Steven.
It's really sad. I mean, I was looking forward to it.
And it's the ultimate irony, right, as you pointed out, is that he's the guy who got famous for with the debate me. You can't, if you're the debate me guy, that's your claim to fame, you can't dodge people that want to debate you, Steve.
I don't understand how, I'm trying to think of how it would be perceived by Crowder's audience. To me, it's very obvious when somebody starts screaming and making like everything about the conversation and not like the conversation itself. Like, oh, well, you're too small and blah, 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 blah. Like, I feel like your goal would be to see your daddy debater like crush this smaller, worthless fuck. Right? Sam Seder's a loser lefty dipshit. Like, Crowder is a god. He's going to destroy this guy. But to scream at him for 20 minutes and then run away, I feel like that's probably going to look bad. I feel like that's probably going to look bad to a lot of Crowder's audience. I know that there's going to be like his most rabid fans are going to, no matter what, be like, oh, cool, cool, cool. But I bet there's a lot of fans on the edge of Crowder that probably get super turned off by that, or think that he didn't perform well there, I think.
Steven, you gotta own this thing that you create, this image you created. Stop being a bitch. Stop being a baby. You're like, come on, Steven. I think he lost the right to those holsters. I think he has to retire them.
Honestly, yeah, I think
I'm
maybe
calling on retiring those holsters today.
Normalize wearing a squirt gun instead is what I would say to him. He'd have to, maybe like a Nerf. He'd have to have like a Nerf weapon. Like, I don't know, is he old enough to now like have a license for a handgun, or he doesn't need to anymore? Yeah, I mean, I think honestly, I think we need to have a meeting with his dad and
I have his
bring his
email
father.
Now, so maybe we should email him, just say, we think that
I don't know if his dad will be answering any of my emails after today.
After today, we're going to have to ask for his badge and weapon.
We're both fathers. I can't tell you how disappointed I would be in my son if he did what Steven did.
Oh, so disappointed, son. Yeah, son.
I just, my son had his final Pony League baseball game yesterday, and I saw more courage from some of those 8-year-olds than we witnessed from Steven Crowder today. I mean, I would say probably like a good 3 or 4 of them were a lot tougher than Crowder. One guy hit the ball, the other one tripped.
Yeah.
And, one of them didn't have their favorite hat, but they all played through it. Right. They all played through
Inspiring.
it. And sad that Steven...
Did you find it interesting, too, how he wouldn't put the camera on him for a minute? It was just on his sidekick?
Yeah.
Don't you think there's something cringe about agreeing to a debate just to ambush somebody with somebody else? In certain circumstances, I would agree that that's cringe. But the problem is, I'm a fan of equal exchange, which I understand, of course. No one will ever agree with me on. If you're going to cringe against somebody, then I think they have the right to cringe against you. If you're a professional fucking political commentator that prides themselves on debating people and you're a debate bro and your quote unquote challenge about like vaccines or the CDC is issued to a guy that makes fucking meme videos online, you're a fucking loser. Sorry. Crowder challenging Ethan, who doesn't do debates or politics, to a fucking debate about vaccines is so unbelievably fucking cringe to me that if he sneaks someone else in there, like, I think it's fair game. Fuck it. Like, that's just so cringe. Like, imagine me, like, hounding fucking Steve Harvey or somebody for, like, a debate on, like, this 2013 Syrian conflict. Like, it's just, like, so stupid, I think. I think that's ultra cringe. Everybody wants to watch a video of him ambushing Chank or whatever. Like, okay.
And by the way, it was built by our audience. We asked them when we switched over from TV to online, can you guys help us build this? And our audience gave us $425,000 to build it.
What's this bullshit? What's going on here? I thought we were having a reasonable discussion. That's not the real Chank. That's bullshit. I'm the real Chank over here. This is supposed to happen. The J W married.
Okay, this is Steven
This
Crowder.
guy, this isn't the real Chank. You think you're a man until it's not happening. It's bullshit. You know, this is only you guys want the panel.
Okay, so this is this is not a
This
friend
is
of mine.
what he does, okay?
This is what he does.
He's doing an impression, and you know that's bullshit.
This also makes Crowder look like more of a child if he doesn't let other people do it to him, right?
Okay,
right?
He basically
what he does,
makes
right?
money.
Is he makes money by he lies, right? He's rocking, so I do.
This is just a bit, though, not a debate. I mean, you can call it what you want, but if you're going to go to this level, which I think is fine. I mean, it's quote unquote funny. I mean, to fuck with somebody's panel and shit, but you got to be ready for other people to do it to you, right?
Homophobic stuff too, right? And then I feel like you're a homophobe, but really, you know, I guess you're.
So security should remove him because his whole living. But by the way, look at the strength of live streams. He makes a living by trying.
People are saying that doing stuff like this is never funny, but I guarantee you, every salty person right now that hates Crowder that's saying like, interrupting stuff like this is never funny. All of you are probably posting Omega lols and lol W's when fucking Borat did it to Pence. Guaranteed you guys were. Guaranteed you were. I didn't even need to ask because I know you were. But so like, I mean, like, yeah, stuff like this could be like whether you agree or disagree or whatever, that's fine. But I'm just saying that like if Crowder is going to sink to this level and do this type of stuff, then I mean like he should be ready for people to do it to him too. And he should be able to laugh it off or like roll with it as well.
To copy me.
I know, right?
And get the right-wing critics.
And it's
Like, hey, look, I'm better than
Yeah, but the Borat one was actually funny. Well, right now the reason why this isn't funny is because you don't like Crowder and you are more likely to like Chank. That's why you don't think it's funny, right? Because if Jordan Peterson was giving a speech and somebody went up there like dressed up as Kermit the Frog and started imitating everything Jordan Peterson said, you guys would probably think it's really fucking funny. Okay. Or if somebody paid like a person with dwarfism or whatever to run up and interrupt like a Shapiro conference and like you would probably think that that's actually really funny too, right? So it's not a matter of like, do you think this style of thing is funny? It's more just like because of who they're making fun of, you don't think it's funny. Kind of like how gamers online say like we should be able to make fun of everybody and everybody is okay to make fun of blah, blah, blah. But when like comedians on primetime TV make fun of people that watch video game streams, gamers turn into the most snowflakey, insulted people in the history of the entire fucking universe. Right.
Will you please watch me? Please watch me so big that I'm just gonna
This is because Crowder's impression sucks ass? No, actually, Crowder's impression is actually pretty good. He actually sounds like it's okay. It's an okay impression.
It's supposed to happen after JW Marriott.
Okay.
It actually does kind of sound like Cenk, okay? It's not actually completely fucked. But...
Oh my... He rocked. Oh, he rocked my dick. So I do this homophobic stuff too, right? And then I feel like you're a homophobe. But really, I guess you really
like, come on. It actually does sound a bit like Cenk, okay? It does.
So security should remove him because his whole living. But by the way, look at the strength of live streams. He makes a living by trying to copy me.
I know, right?
And get the right-wing critics. They're like, hey, look, I'm right. Will you please watch me? Please watch me so big that I'm just gonna hide on.
I know, right, listen, like there was a time, live streams getting divided. It's like cable, right? It's like there's lower numbers and, okay.
Hey,
But anyway, if Cenk is gonna, or I'm sorry, if Crowder's gonna do stuff like this, you can't cry when you get Sam trapped. Link me the Sam Seder debate challenge video. Why is Crowder so terrified? I think because Crowder doesn't, I don't know. A lot of this stuff is like it's so hard to argue it from the other side.
And I do like to think that, it's really hard to get leftist guests on our show. That's just a reality. We try and book them.
Crowder doesn't think there's a rape culture.
I usually do try and get into an engagement of ideas.
Hold on. Actually, I want to talk a little bit more about that real quick. The frustrating thing is that conservatives, if they were more measured, could actually provide a good counterpoint for there being a reasonable argument here about like speaking out of turn or giving advice that you're not 100% about, because there definitely is a culture of that exists, and unfortunately it's even becoming common in like the upper echelons of academia, at least around like these pandemic times. The Lancet pushed a really, really, really bad study related to the hydroxychloroquine stuff, and rightfully they were criticized for it. And no, fuck. I was gonna make an extreme statement, but I haven't thought about this enough. I almost want to say that preprints should be banned from public consumption, but then people would just leak them as soon as they got them. The preprint culture is very, very, very scary. So generally, when you submit a study, you send it into a publication, they've got a panel of people that review it, they go through whatever methodologies that they do to vet the study and everything, and then they publish it, right? And that is peer reviewed. The preprint culture, though, is like, I'm gonna send in this study to these people to get it reviewed, but this information is so important that like, this is an awful take. You're wrong. I don't even disagree with you, Rage Pope. You're just wrong. I've had so many academics like email me talking about how cancerous the preprint culture is. I don't think you can say a single thing. I think I would just write off anything that you say in regards to this. I'm sorry. Because I've had a lot of PhD, and I think there was one master researcher person email me. And basically, what is preprint culture? Basically, the idea is that we have to get this medical information out there. It's so fucking important. It's so important. And what happens is instead of a study goes to a journal and then it gets peer reviewed and published, they send the study to a journal, but then they also publish it online. And that's called a preprint. So they get the preprint out there, people start reading it, but when you're public and you're consuming information, or when people are writing about studies and shit, they just write like, oh yeah, like new study shows that this drug is good, or SARS-CoV-2 is this, or that, or that, or that. But these aren't peer reviewed. Now they can say that like, this is a study that's been submitted to the Lancet, but it hasn't been peer reviewed yet. That hasn't been like approved. That's not published anywhere. It's a preprint. I can send it. I could technically publish like a preprint and send it in somewhere. Now you might take it more seriously or not because I'm not an academic institution or whatever. But the that preprint culture during the coronavirus stuff was a little bit scary because there was a ton of information just being dumped everywhere, and you could see that with the people that were. Sorry, hold on, I'm almost done. Yeah, I'm sorry, you can give me 1 sec. You can see that with the people that were talking about hydroxychloroquine, especially other drugs, when they would list all of the studies that were supporting them, a lot of that was preprint shit. And the amount of vetting that we do around preprint stuff is just bad. There is no vetting, it's just people publishing shit. And that culture probably needs to be addressed before people start wielding those as like ironclad weapons of like, well, I know I'm right, I've got a preprint that says it.
And I do like to think that, I mean, it's really hard to get leftist guests on our show. That's just a reality. We try and book them.
Crowder doesn't think there's a rape culture.
I usually do try and get into an engagement of ideas.
Steven Crowder, so interesting.
You know, now that we're talking about Steven Crowder, 3 or 4 months ago, I was invited to Politicon. When they asked me if I would come, I said, yeah, I will if I can debate someone. Now, of course, I threw out Dave Rubin, and I was told that he's not coming. Competition would start kicking in. And so I said, Crowder, and the people were like, great. And it all looked good. And I was told that Steven Crowder literally stopped responding to their emails. Pretty sure the quote was, somebody got cold feet. Steven Crowder, I am issuing you a challenge to debate. I will host you on any time, any platform, any way to debate. Really, the question that Steven Crowder should ask his Alexa is, do I have the fortitude to debate Sam Seder?
No, you are not courageous enough to face a middle-aged Jew who likes facts and figures. You are a coward.
Steven, I know you are watching or hearing this, and everybody else knows it too. There's no way you're not aware that I've issued this challenge now. You knew it was coming when you backed out of Politicon because you were afraid of debating me. And here it is. Steven, we'll see you soon.
Maybe I'm speaking out of turn here, but you can wear your not gay t-shirt and you can have an opening statement, right?
Oh.
You'll let him have the opening statement, I'm assuming.
Oh, sure.
Remember to hit that like and subscribe, and don't forget the notification bell so that my videos show up right in your feed.
Sam said he is an alpha male, not a beta male, and that you are afraid to debate him, Steven. And that your father should stop allowing you to be beta.